A little bit.
Caution number 6, second time we've seen it for the 40 of Chad Fincham. Last time,
I can't drive it back.
he was able to keep it off the wall. Not so fortunate this time. Destroyed.
Man, he
at number 40.
He ripped his whole back window out.
This is coming off of turn 4. Oh, that, yeah, right at the exit of turn 4. It looks very similar to what we saw with Ricky.
So running by himself right here. You see the car sideways. Definitely having trouble on braking. It's just going to go straight at this point. Oh, yeah, you see the front wheels are turned. That's how you can see the right front. And this car is not going to change direction.
Whoa, yeah, that's a lot of speed.
Yeah, I wondered if he had a brake failure when we saw this car and the way it was sitting and the damage.
Looked like loose and down into the corner. Did it look like maybe he was trying to reach over and side draft Johnny Sauter a bit?
Yeah, couldn't tell from that angle, but when it got a little bit loose, then he corrected, and then he just had to use some more room, and then finally the rear end kicked around on him. Hard contact with the safer barrier.
Kyle thought he was going and made contact and just sent him into the inside wall.
What happens here?
Let's see what they're close together going down the back.
Harvick comes down, and then the 42 comes up. They make contact and turn the 42 sideways into the 4 Harvick, and he made heavy contact with the outside wall.
Yeah, that right front took a lick. I'm going to say, Mike, that was just one car went down a little bit and one car came up a little bit. I don't know if I could put a blame on either guy.
I'm not exactly sure why Harvick came down at all.
Turn left quick enough to avoid that. You can see how quick the one goes around from this shot. And there's Chase. He knows it's coming. There's just absolutely nothing he can do.
Yeah, just like Eric Jones earlier today.
Little speedy dry, and Brandon Jones hits the wall.
Wow.
Hang on to it. Hang on to it.
Tyler Reddick in the 9 also with an issue.
Keep it up there.
Caution coming out again.
Keep it up there. Keep it up there. Slow down here so we can get to pit road.
Cold day to start the race, low air pressures. You see Alex Bowman clip the apron just a little bit. Maybe the air off the 6 car loosened him up also. Around he came, and Austin Dillon unfortunately nowhere to go. Or Paul Menard.
Or the 19 of Suarez, and too bad for those guys, because gosh, how many cars can go in that turn at one?
Larson.
Four wide. Oh no!
And into the wall.
No.
Goes Kurt Busch and Truex and more.
Loose, and if you get somebody on your right side, especially off of turn 4 with that wind blowing, you're in trouble. And he got one bobble, saved it, another bobble, and the car's just really light for him right now, and he just lost it.
You got to tip your cap to Suarez. He saw the issues that Cindric was having. He flared up, gave him plenty of room, but Austin just couldn't keep his car going straight. And Brad, he said on the radio, I don't really know what I could have done there. What advice would you give your quasi-teammate?
Yeah, we talked about how slick this racetrack is, and Matt Tiff gets loose and just loses the car, and Ryan Reed comes in and hits him, and look at those 2 impacts. Just solid side in. They are 3 wide, 4 wide.
Yeah, the 4 wide just hooked him.
Yeah. Just not enough. This track is just not wide enough for 4 wide. At Talladega, you can make it work. It's a little bit wider, but this racetrack is just...
Side by side down the back stretch, going to turn 3. Oh! Contacted Gregson into the wall hard.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right now.
At the bottom, 16 of Ryan Reed also got caught up in this. Got tagged by the 1. Right there.
There's the 12. So the 12 didn't spin. You already see the damage. That tells me that came from the grass.
Seeming outside line. Looks like he gets turned by the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Just a little hook there on the left rear quarter panel. Spins him down through the grass.
This race is going to continue to get more aggressive. As we wind into it, we're going to see more accidents, more pushing, more shoving. Stuff's going to get wild.
And led only 2 laps in his first win, averaging 17th today. This is where he pushes Almirola Taps him from the back out of the way. You heard him reference in his post-race comments. Clean or not?
Well, Chris, ever since the end of the first stage, the gloves have been off in this race. We've seen aggressive blocking from everybody on the track. The block, the spin.
A few things went on, including a little contact with the safer barrier down in turn 1. That's J.J. Yaley nose first.
That was a big hit. I heard him say that, you know, it locked it when he tried to get slowed down. The front brakes just locked up and it wouldn't turn. And
oh, something breaks on his car.
Yeah, looks like a track bar probably, doesn't it?
Yep. You can always tell when they crab walk like that. He hit pretty hard. NASCAR has to throw a yellow for this.
Yeah.
A lot of frustration. Peters around and in. I think maybe got a little help to start with.
Yeah, get some damage with the 3 truck.
Saw McMurray, you'll see him, he gets involved in this. It almost looked like his wreck from Friday. Starts off that way.
Right across into Truex. And then Bain in the 6 to the inside barrier.
Quarter panel, he's going to side draft him right here in 3 and 4. Oh my goodness!
Sideways the 18, hard into the wall. Around goes the 24 as well. William Byron sliding all the way to the inside wall. Jamie McMurray caught up as well. Kyle Larson avoiding the 18. He went way down on the apron.
That fluid as well.
So John Hunter Nemechek, who was running second at the time, engine expires.
Already backwards.
Wow. Man, I don't know. It's like he didn't even have any brakes. It was going so fast.
Hard hit. That was a huge hit. Emmerich saw him coming up the racetrack, and he was turning right as fast as he could. He just could not get away from him. Look at Emmerich in the middle of the racetrack. Watch him. He's looking. He sees him. He's trying to slow up. He turns right, turns right. Just nothing he could have done differently there. That's a sickening feeling when you're, seeing that car coming. You know there's nothing you're going to be able to do.
You're going to see he's right here at the top of your screen. It looks like he goes to the bottom of the racetrack. I'm not sure if he got pushed or was just going there to make a move. You see instantly the damage that the mud and the wet grass do to the front of this race car. He comes all the way in, and then you mentioned it. Driver's side into the safer barrier, which turns the car dead right. And this is where I was hitting you on the leg because I was worried. Look at this right here, back into traffic.
Close.
Oh, man, luckily Ryan Sieg right here, Ryan Reed, Chase Briscoe, Joey Gase, all doing a wonderful job of paying attention at this point, avoiding him. There's a lot of potential for another heavy impact.
That is, oh my gosh, it just takes your breath right out of you.
By the driver. It certainly wasn't anything intentional in that situation, but that doesn't help Austin Cindric at all.
Packing that air on that left rear quarter panel.
There's just a little space right there.
41 of Kurt Busch, and that's all it takes.
Such a vulnerable spot. We've seen that a couple of times. We saw it in the qualifying races.
So you see the 24 starts coming up. Look, it just seems like the air changed and allowed that 48 to just get loose.
Yeah, the 48 and the 24. I think the 24 may have gotten on the brakes, and that caused his car to get loose. But I don't know what happened to Johnson. That thing just turned sideways. And I've seen that time and time again up there in turn 3.
Casey Kane shoots through the black car with the yellow number on top.
Look at Allgaier getting drop kicked.
Oh no, there they go.
Spinner into the wall, Almirola. Larson out of shape. So is Chase Elliott. And the caution is out again.
We made it so far, Michael, but we just couldn't keep this up. Oh, and they're still hitting.
To block Blaney by Stenhouse. I thought for sure Stenhouse was going around.
Yeah, he looked like he was long gone, and that's really what caused this whole thing. When he came up in front of Eric Jones in the 20, Jones had nowhere to go.
And Bowman had filled that space in the inside to make it 3 wide with Eric Jones, so he had nowhere to go.
Nope. Track's going to stay cleaner because the lap car's up there, and we got one going around in turn 3 here.
0-1 of Vinnie Miller.
Oh!
And Christopher Bell sideways. He's involved in the crash.
We're destroyed.
Oh, man. It's very clear to me the 31 was coming to pit road, and Clint Boyer had no idea. He had no idea the 31 was pitting.
That's a day ender, too, so kind of have to pick your poison.
And, you know, we talked, Chase, a whole lot in Daytona about all the bumping and also blocking that was going on down there.
Behind him. Here's Christopher Bell to the inside of Justin Allgaier. Look out, Ryan Preece is around. He'll hook them on. Oh, what a hellacious spin to the inside of turn number 2. Ryan Preece going for a wild ride off the second corner.
For an accident this year with this 60 car. I don't blame you for being upset.
Hard hit there by Majeski.
I don't blame Jack Roush for being upset either.
There's a car in front of them.
Oh, took a peek there around Ryan Newman, and
there's no real estate.
Oh, man. He again. Holy Toledo. Well, you hit those turtles, and you literally fly in the air.
That wall is designed to move.
Yes, correct. Oh, man.
Huge impact there.
And Steve, you've mentioned it, that backstretch chicane is so...
He just wanders up off the bottom and looks like just tries to turn back to the bottom, Phil. Just got loose, just simply got loose. And watch the driving some of these racers do to get through it.
How about Parker Kligerman? He got hit by the 20 of Lagasse. There's that hard contact to the safer barrier for Jennifer Jo Cobb.
Well, it's amazing that Coughlin and Sargent both avoided.
Clay was up the racetrack. Oh, that hurts me.
Nobody really spinning their wheels much. Brad's in trouble right there. He knows he's in trouble. Got the left front locked up, and now just nowhere for these guys to go. I think even the 18, he was in too deep.
A lot of guys really did have a lot of trouble getting out of that corner. That is so strange to have a...
Just waiting for whichever line. Huge push. And around goes a 2. Too big of a push. He caught the 41.
The big one.
Logano's caught up in it.
Oh, my goodness.
Denny Hamlin. Austin Dillon has damage. Daniel Suarez trying to avoid. Ty Dillon sliding in. Big push coming from Elliott and Keselowski. Contact! Elliott slam into the wall.
Are you kidding me?
Danica Patrick, Casey Kane.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
You all right?
And right there you see Bubba's pushing the 14, and the 14 moved to the left, and when he did, now he's pushing him on the extreme right rear of the bumper, and just like the wreck we saw earlier in the race, it just turns the car directly head on into the wall. And you know, when you're pushing somebody, how you are pushing them is so important. You have to have everybody has got to be lined up. And
oh, and there goes Fontaine. Contact and around. Crafton involved, Rhodes involved, Parker Kligerman, John Hunter Nemechek, Bo Lamastus, Johnny Sauter back there. Was it?
Allgaier and Christopher Bell right here side by side. The two drivers with all the points in their bucket. They have the lead coming into the race because of their performance in the regular season, and they're going to give it all back right here on the initial start of the race.
98 getting in there. Big hit right here by the 23.
Wow, that was a big hit.
Yeah, Michael Annette came in there.
And these guys just all started pushing and shoving, and you see Peters go up there, and Gregson went to block him. I mean, he was trying to win the race and wound up getting himself crashed, but there's no fault of his. I mean, he was doing what he had to do to try to win, and he had to block. Watch it for the from the on
track. You're really limited on how much control and how much ability to miss all this you have.
And it all starts as the cars enter the trial, but the lanes get very undefined. You know, what's the top, what's the middle, what's the bottom? It seems like the
trial was the place where these accidents happen most often. As you see, the 16 catches the grass, gets airborne, luckily comes back onto its tires.
So many involved in this second big one of the night.
So it started. All it takes is one car to hit them and deflect them somewhere else. But you said it, Joey. I don't even know that he even touched him. If he did, it wasn't much. Like you said, the cars are very, very light there, and the least little bit of change in direction behind you can upset your car and take
the
it out
one
from
thing that you
underneath of
can't really see from the cameras in these cars, they have a little crown to the back bumper and the front bumper, and if you get offline just a little bit, this is exactly what happens. Man, some big hits there.
I tell you, and it's amazing you see how fast they're going.
Pulled me from behind. Gives me the bumper, probably the worst place to.
And Enfinger just came down and hit that right front and just shot it to the left. Man, that's a big hit.
A lot of times, Kevin, we watch these wrecks and haven't done this for 100 years. You say.
Back down, they block. The 60 goes around. Briscoe hard into the wall.
Oh boy, they're 4 wide there.
Byron on the
He
bottom.
just gets loose underneath
he just
the
starts
14.
spinning out, gets into the.
Man, it just.
Oh my gosh, the car almost went over.
Just hooked, nosed in.
How many times have we seen a car land on top of Ryan Newman?
Ryan Newman? Yeah.
I mean, that's 2 or 3 times I can remember.
Too many.
Remember, he was with McMurray down in Talladega when that happened.
Side force off of the inside car, and if you're in that car, you have to be ready and know that, and try to anticipate it. Hard to do though.
And what a huge impact from both of those cars. You see.
It's just really frightening. He's sitting here knowing that he's going to not be able to avoid hitting the wall and doing everything he can to figure out a way to knock as much speed out of the car as he can and take the